Did the key with a smile and settled the bill, swiping the card on the machine a few feet down the bar. The front desk was incredibly thorough and scares me a little. Last week when she was there, they required 2 forms of ID and took a photo of her to put in their database. I'm surprised they didn't ask for fingerprints. She tore off the receipts and handed them over with a pen. Adonis is gorgeous, but let's both admit he only loves me because of the liver treats I fed him. Oliver laughed as he signed the receipt. His loyalty is easily bought, like his owner's. Truer words. She accepted the pen and the receipt, glancing at the tip line to see that Oliver had once again tipped the amount of his meal, which she used to yell at him for, but now accepted that he wasn't going to listen to her no matter what.
Thank you for doing this, Rachel, he said. I didn't expect to be in Japan for an entire month.
You're welcome. She'd confided in Oliver one late night how her roommate situation wasn't working, and she needed to find a new place to live, never imagining he'd offer to solve her problem. As it turned out, he was due to go away on business, and his dog sitter had double-booked herself. He'd asked Rachel if she'd take the gig, sharing that he couldn't stomach the idea of Adonis in a kennel. When he told her his address, Rachel had nearly drooled on the bar top between them. Crane Tower. Ooh la la. Not only would she live in his glorious 1,500-square-foot apartment, but he was also paying her generously. She could add the money to her savings and put a deposit down on her own place. It was either that or move back home, but she wasn't willing to concede the battle yet. Chicago may be kicking her around, but she was tougher than she looked. She hoped. Once she found a better gig than bartending, a professional and brag-worthy profession devoid of rat bastard promotion-stealing boyfriends, she'd be good to go. Not because bragging about her job was important for her, but it was for her parents. They were the ones who were so proud of their daughter, the city girl. Oliver bid her adieu and left as Rachel's roommate/coworker, Brianna, stepped through the door he held open for her. At the bar, Bree slid her coat from her arms and stashed it beneath the register. So, how's Daddy Warbucks? Bree, Rachel laughed as she washed a beer glass in the double sink. That roommate situation that wasn't working, it had nothing to do with Bree or her significant other, Dean. Rachel adored Bree, and vice versa. They'd become close in the 2 months since Rachel moved in with her, when both Bree and Rachel swore they'd be roommates for years. Then Dean proposed, Bree said yes, and he moved in, and well, Rachel was now a third wheel. She didn't want to be in the way of what her friends had, which was special. She could tell because she knew what a relationship looked like when it wasn't right. It was strain and silence and frustration and animosity brewing under a surface that no one disturbed. I'm going to miss you when you go live in luxury for a month, Bree pouted, pushing her full lips out. Her chin-length brown hair was smooth tonight, her eyes sparkling thanks to glittery eyeshadow. No, you won't. You and Dean will probably run around naked the moment I leave. Bree grinned. Rachel was happy for her friend. She'd met Bree at Dusty's, a bar that was a downscale Andromeda. Bree had been working through the last week of a 2-week notice. They'd bonded almost instantly, which Rachel did with almost no one. By the time she'd made the decision to leave her marketing job, Rachel called Bree to ask if the Andromeda Club was hiring. It had occurred to her that when she'd moved to Chicago alone, she intended to be an island. She'd never expected to have a roommate, certainly not one she was dating, and since the whole Sean debacle, she'd become anxious to reclaim her island status. She'd hate to think she'd lost the ability to be independent after coming to depend on a man who wasn't dependable in the end. Her recent breakup with her boyfriend of 2 years, being homeless, and losing the job for which she'd attained her degree was a series of minor setbacks. Living with a dog was the bridging step from roommate to once again living on her own, and she would take it. Somewhere in her lived a fearless woman who was ready to take